Hi Bunny Bundles! Sorry to have the short interruption from the Anime USA vlogs, but a while ago I asked you guys on my Facebook fan page for controversial convention topics. I thought that was going to be alliteration, but it's not. Anyway, moving on. So I actually came up with one on my own. No one suggested this, but it's something that I've been going over in my head for a really long time. And it's also something that I've been seeing a lot about on Facebook recently, about people discussing it and people debating it, and I figured right now would be a good time to discuss it with you guys, get your opinions, share my own opinions, and share my own experiences with this topic. So this is just going to be a really quick public service announcement, that's right, public service announcement, a PSA brought to you by Dejavudea, and the topic for discussion today is convention dating, yay or nay? So as soon as I posted my status on my Facebook page that I was going to be making this video, you guys pretty much exploded with there were so many people that were like, I've always wanted to be in a relationship with someone who understands my interests, but then there was the other side of people who were just like, oh my god, never do that ever, no one would ever do that in their right mind to date anyone. And that's kind of what I see is more of the nay aspect than the yay aspect. Since my friends and I go to anime conventions a lot, we have come up with certain rules and regulations for dating people. Not saying that we enforce rules with who we date, it's more of the person that we're dating, how we room with those people, and what we do at the conventions with those people, and if they're driving with us. And dating people while regularly going to anime conventions can complicate things a lot more than you can think. For example, sleeping situations. Don't even get me started on sleeping situations, okay? Just don't even get me started. But TLDR version, too long didn't read version, if you're staying with people who are dating, there's gonna be that unspoken rule that those two people have to sleep in the bed together, right? So then that leaves the people who aren't having a significant other on the floor. And not only are they forever alone, but they also have to sleep on the floor. So I think that's just stupid. Another aspect of bringing a significant other to a convention is, of course, the dramu. And that's drama with a U. That's D-R-A-M-U, dramu, which is what we like to call it within our group of friends. Dramu is something that is like relationship drama that really doesn't need to be happening, but it happens anyway because you're at a con and things are different and you're in a different environment and somebody wants to go here and that person wants to go there, and then somebody commented about somebody's cosplay on your girlfriend's cosplay, and some guy's hitting on your girlfriend, but they don't know you have a significant other, and then things just get awkward, and then you get mad at each other, and then you make everyone miserable because you guys are fighting at the convention. So those are only a couple of the possibilities that are possible negatively with bringing a significant other into an anime convention environment. Now don't get me wrong, okay? Seriously, I don't mean to be pessimistic. There are good things about bringing a significant other into an anime convention world. For instance, maybe they've never even been exposed to an anime convention. Maybe you're a veteran and maybe you can show them around, and maybe it's an amazing time and you open their eyes to a whole new world, to your hobby, and have a wonderful time, and you guys do a couple cosplay, and anime conventions can be a really fun time for an already established couple. So that's just one element to the anime convention dating experience. So that would be the aspect of if you already have an established relationship and then you go into an anime convention. Now we're going to look at the more wildly talked about meeting someone at an anime convention, where it's basically like, hey, I just met you and this is crazy, but now we're dating, but you live on the other side of the country. This is what I've been hearing so many people talk about. Everyone is just bashing on these relationships that start at anime conventions, and I can obviously see why. Because with anime conventions and dating, it's really a yin and yang. It's really a good and bad. There are aspects to both, and we're gonna go over them both, and we're gonna weigh them both, and I'm gonna let you guys decide what you think. So the good news or the bad news? Let's go with the bad news first. Get it out of the way. Let me start off by talking about me when I first started going to anime conventions. I'm talking 15-year-old Deanna going to Otakon for the first couple of years. I had a shoujo dream in my mind that I was gonna meet Prince Charming, and he was gonna like anime, and he was gonna like cosplay and manga, and we were gonna fall in love at the con, and there was gonna be this whole con romance, and it was gonna be adorable, and we'd dance at the rave, and then Sunday we'd cry, but then it'd be okay, because like we'd call each other every night, and that never works. Just stop. If you're dreaming that right now, I am so sorry. Just stop. Because I know there are girls out there who were just like me, girls and guys out there who were just like me, who are just so hopeful, young and hopeful, their poor young and hopeful hearts, who are just like, I'm gonna go to this anime convention and meet someone and date them and everything's gonna work out. In reality, you guys probably don't even have your driver's license yet, so you can't even drive to see this person, and it's just not gonna work out. It's just not gonna work out in the end, okay? That distance is the one thing that is gonna break your convention shoujo moment lovey ugu kisu time. So along with distance, meeting somebody at a convention, let's just go over the fact that you've known this person for 3 days. Okay, and while you're at the convention, you've probably only talked to them about cosplay, manga, anime, viewings, panels, voice actors, how your feet hurt, and how you haven't eaten for 3 days. So taking all that wonderful stuff aside that you have in common with all of that, you know, and just pushing it aside very gently, who is this person that you just met as a person? Do not fall victim to the puppy love shoujo manga ugu kisu stage. This person could be someone completely different out of the convention scene. You don't know them. You don't know their life, okay? And I'm not saying that all people at anime conventions are bad people by any means. And they might be a really awesome person. They might have all their stuff together. But you don't know that. So before you dive head over heels and become boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend, or and whatever couple that you may be, wait a minute. Okay, step back, and talk to them more. Maybe when they leave the convention, you know, obviously if you're interested, you're gonna get their phone number and you're gonna exchange numbers and you can talk. And before you make it anything romantic, get to know this person, get to know their actual life, because a lot of people, including myself, anime conventions are a big part of our lives, but it's a very different aspect of our lives. So we have our lives where we do work, we go to school, we do all this, and then we have anime convention life. So chances are that person is a very different person in their actual life than they are in their anime convention life. You might meet a guy at a convention and he might be this piano-playing, gorgeous shoujo bishi boy and has the most gorgeous smile you've ever seen. But in reality, he's mentally cracked and doesn't really know what he's doing with his life and is spiraling downwards, and then you get him out of the anime convention scene and suddenly he's not the bishi boy anymore and that you thought he was, and now everything's just a big old mess, and now you're like, well, that was weird. I hope all of my exes watch this video and just wait for me to mention them. I really do. Okay, so now that we've got all that bad stuff aside, let's look at the positives. Meeting somebody at an anime convention that you fall head over heels for and really like and really enjoy the company of is something that's bound to happen at least once, especially if you are an anime convention regular. And as unfortunate as it is with statistics and stuff, I have not performed a case study or anything like that, but it rarely works out. However, sometimes it does, and that's for various reasons. If you're meeting somebody at an anime convention, chances are they enjoy anime and cosplay and manga, and oh son, really right now, you were behind that cloud for like 7 years. What are you doing with your life? If you're meeting oh my god, what the heck? I apologize for lighting issues. Moving on. Chances are, if you're meeting somebody at an anime convention, they're gonna like anime and manga and cosplay, and let's face it, that interest is kind of hard to come by these days and kind of seen as weird by most people these days. So it's really nice to go somewhere where you know that everybody has that really same interest that you do. And if somebody has the same interest that you do, you're obviously going to get along and you're going to be able to click really easily. So if you do find someone at an anime convention that you click with and you have the same interests and you have the same hobbies and you get along with even outside of the anime respect, and your lives are all put together in the way of which you can be together, then I fully encourage someone having a relationship after meeting at an anime convention. For example, my friend Caitlin and Steve met at Otakon 2009 at a rave. He asked her to dance, and they danced, and then afterwards, the next day they met up again and exchanged numbers, and turned out that they lived half an hour away from each other. And they've been dating for 3-some years, and they're actually engaged now. So that is one definite convention, one of the 2 convention stories I know. People actually meeting at a convention and then having a relationship and having a stable relationship afterwards. So I think it's a completely different thing to have a significant other and bring them into the convention world than to have a significant other that you meet in the convention world and go out of the convention world with. Because obviously, if you meet somebody and then go into the convention world, it's a lot easier of a transition. But if you meet at a con, the chances that you're going to stay together and the chances that you're going to be able to be in a relationship with that person as much as you want to, they probably live in Ohio and they probably live really far away from you, and you probably don't know everything about them because you only met them like for 3 days and for X amount of time, and you probably only talked about anime and cosplay and manga and things like that. So, word of advice, I am so sorry to all you little Deannas, all my little bunny bundles and aspiring people who want to go to a convention and meet somebody and fall in love and get married. It's not gonna happen. But like I said, it might happen, I don't know. Your situations are different, and everybody has a different story to tell. And I've heard plenty of stories, and you see people getting proposed to at conventions, though you don't know if they met at the convention or not. But people get married and engaged at conventions and stuff. So, I mean, there's always, like, that aspect to it, right? So, I mean, sometimes it works out. So, I don't want to be the complete Debbie Downer and be like, never date anyone from conventions because it won't work ever. Because it can. And if you think you're the kind of person that's strong enough and strong-willed enough, and if you think that the relationship that you have with that person, after talking to them for a few months after the convention, is worth it, then go for it. A completely different view of the anime convention dating scene would be dating someone who is not even into anime, manga, cosplay, stuff like that. And then you go to conventions, but they necessarily might not. These are the kind of relationships that can prosper. And these kind of relationships will pose some major difficulties. However, they will not include the drama of the convention because your significant other stays out of your convention life, but only stays in your non-convention life. For example, you may run into some difficulties the weekend of conventions. As we all know, most convention centers have 0 cell phone service. So, your significant other may not understand that 1, you can't hear your cell phone, or 2, you have no service whatsoever, or 3, you're wearing gloves for a cosplay and can't even text and or pick up your phone. So there's some conversations you want to have with your significant other before you go to a con, especially if they have no idea what to expect with conventions, stuff like that. You're going to want to sit them down, explain to them what's going to be happening. You probably won't be able to talk over the weekend, and that you can call them whenever you have time. So with spending all this money and spending all this time, something you're going to want to do with your significant other is explain to them that this is part of your life. It is something that you love and something that you enjoy, and if they don't understand that, then maybe it's time to find another significant other and or just not be with that person anymore. Disclaimer, this is not relationship advice. This is just me thinking out loud and you guys are listening, okay? Okay. So in conclusion of this video, you can see that there's 3 topics we covered. We covered taking your significant other to an anime convention, dating somebody after meeting at an anime convention, and dating someone who has nothing to do with the anime convention scene. They all have their pros and cons, and they all are complicated. So, my bunny bundles, what do you think? Convention, dating, yay, nay, what is your experience? Let me know, because I've heard both ends of the story. So, vlog will be up sometime soon. Sorry to interrupt the vlogging footage, but I felt like this was a good public service announcement that needed to happen sooner rather than later. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, bunny bundles. Bye.